Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. For those of you who've just joined Elegant Wealth, welcome. So good to have you here. I'm live, so welcome, folks, to our free business coaching. I'm Rebecca. I'm an intuition coach. What do I really do? Help people to trust themselves and step into their power. So, welcome to the Elegant Wealth Facebook group. This is where we are going to activate your abundance, and we talk a lot here about the energetics of abundance. I've been coaching for quite some time now, and I can tell you right now, energetics is massive. I would say it's 85% of it, strategy, logistics, maybe 15. So, welcome to our free business coaching. What I want to talk about a little bit before I answer any questions is exactly that. One of the questions I want to ask you today is, how do you feel about your business? Because this is a really telling question, right? It is the question that is going to show you immediately where you're at in relationship to the overall business. Because there's a lot to business, right? As an entrepreneur, there's many things. You have an ecosystem at play. How do you feel about it? Like when I say my business is fill in the blank, what comes forward for you? And I want to talk about this a little bit before I answer any questions. Because understanding that when you get the energetics in your business in the correct place, it is so much easier for your business to take off. Right? If you are doing this paradigm of lack or fear or scarcity, or sometimes feeling abundant and sometimes feeling scarcity, that's going to be impacting how you show up in your business. It's going to be impacting how you feel, how your clients feel, how people respond to you, but mostly the vibration you are emanating. And I want you to think about this. What would you love to have in your business? I can tell you what it is right now. It's certainty. Right? Certainty that it's all working out, certainty that what you're doing is going to create the outcomes that you want. But also, too, just tapping into that immediately, what certainty feels like, is that there in your business. That's what you want to start with, right? That's the energetics of what you want to start with. Am I certain that what I'm doing is working out? Now, this is where we go more into Nikola Tesla, Einstein, two of my favorites, right? Because they're bona fide geniuses. Einstein said, quote, nothing happens until something moves. Right? That is a scientific quote, obviously, because he was looking, right, and doing his research. Nothing happens until something moves. That needs to be you. That means you need to be in your authority. But the second thing that Tesla said was, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And a lot of people don't do this in relationship to their business and then wonder why they're not having those big money wins. I'm currently teaching this in a program called Becoming Her. Even just this morning, we had somebody come in and say they found the solution to a staffing problem, which is going to save her $700 a month. And she's had a new client stepped in for $1,700. This is a natural byproduct of being in frequency, the frequency of certainty that what you want is going to come to pass. And again, that's the whole world of energetics. But I just wanted to present this because I want you to ask yourself, where are you in relationship to certainty in your business right now? Do you have certainty? Right? Because your brain might go, well, of course I don't have certainty because I don't know what's going to happen next. But that's the energetic piece, and that's what I want to offer you too as well. I'm just going to bear with me for a second, folks, because I can't see the comments. I don't know why Facebook does this. So I'm just going to go into Elegant Wealth on my phone so I can actually see your comments. All right, where is Facebook? And again, you're welcome to ask questions, but I want you to ask yourself, how's this landing for you? Because I tell you what, folks, for myself, I've been in business for like 10 years. It took me a while to figure this stuff out, right, in terms of frequency. Ooh, hello. Oh, look, that's me. I've been in business. Oh, no. There we go. Hey, Cass. Hi, Vivian. Hi, is it Carissa? Hi, Carissa. How are you, lovely? Nice to meet you. So, how's this landing? How do you feel about your business? That answer in itself can be so telling. And again, right, embrace your humanity. Your business is a sacred practice. It is a gift from God. It is an opportunity for you to co create with the universe. It is a magical container. Your business has its own vibe, right? You're the one who's pouring into your business, but your business has its own vibration. It's actually a separate entity from you, right? And you give to it and it gives to you. It is a beautiful space of co creation with the universe, right? To be the person who's activating the certainty, the frequencies that you prefer to live in, it is a game changer. And of course, action is still required, authority is still required. Being the person who sets up pages or whatever groups, etc., does the admin is still required. But when the energetics are in the right place, it is a game changer. So for yourself, are you in the energy of certainty in relationship to your business? And would you like to be? Even talking about it, how does it feel in your body? Probably for a lot of people, it might feel like relief. If I had certainty, it would feel like a relief, right? Like I could stop worrying. But that's exactly the problem, folks. That even mindset is what needs to go in order to create certainty. And often this is about a paradigm shift, right? Stepping into a new identity, a new way of being, a new way of vibrating. Right? I put a post up a wee while ago about that picture of the frog in the water, and he's like just croaking, but you can see all the vibrations ripple through the water. You're doing that all day long. You are vibrating out into the universe. You are activating universal law, whether you're aware of it or not. Universal law works all the time, just like gravity works all the time. God works all the time. We're the ones who either align with the mind of God and the frequency, or we're sitting there wondering what's happening, right? Wondering why we're not getting the outcomes that we prefer. So, hi Ling, how are you? Certainty in farm making, it's interesting. Yes, now that's way easier to look back on, right, Vivian, than to look forward to. That's why some of the best places to start in regards to cultivating certainty is to actually go back and to go, A, how do I feel about the past? And B, has it always worked out? How do you know? Yes, of course it has, because you're still here. Yeah, need this today is connecting with speakers for my summit. Yes, right. And to activate this energy of like, of course it's perfect. It's natural to be human and to get nervous about stuff, but to also be the person who's like, I'm choosing for it to be amazing. One of the wonderful things I love about this, though, in the energy of certainty, there's no hierarchy. Now, that is spiritual truth, folks. There is no hierarchy. It is only ever the ego reflex that creates it. The ego, and of course, society in regards to hierarchical structures that we all adhere to, you need to take your power back from that, folks. It is BS. There is no hierarchy. There is no one better than you. Everybody poops the same, right? We are all equal. This is an equal opportunity planet. If you have consciousness inside of yourself, everybody is equal. That's how it works, because what happens is the ego goes, oh, they're better than me, or I'm worse than them, or I'm better than them, or, it's bullshit. We all have access to the same energetic frequencies that are available to us. Higher and higher and higher they go too, right? Like we're really tapping into God zone frequencies. And if you think about it from an energetic point of view, in the God zone, there's nothing wrong. Is there? God's like, I'm in total acceptance of how reality is. Now I get it, because this is where the ego goes, hang on a minute. And that's where you need to know how to navigate ego, because it's always going to pop up and go, well, that's wrong, or that's wrong, or that's wrong. 95% of the time, that's going to take you outside of yourself into the external. You don't have control over the external, folks, but you have total control over yourself, right? You're the creator. And this work is really about aligning you with your creator ability. How does God see this? How does my higher self see this? Because I can guarantee you they will often have a perspective that is going to bring you more calm, more comfort, and more ease than the rational critical mind. You know, like rational critical mind is colorful, right? It's like, oh, it's always got something to say. It's always got an opinion about something. But what's the frequency of it? Like you can tell if your mind is in a good space because of the way you feel. If you are thinking the same way that God sees reality, you're going to be experiencing high vibration. If you are out of alignment with that, you are going to know through your body. And the trick is to be the person who's always wanting to calibrate to a higher frequency. Because that's where the good stuff is, right? Like that's where clients do fall out of the sky. That's where you're attracting your ideal people. That's where you have super high standards. You have good boundaries. You know what's for you. You can streamline your energy field. You're putting boundaries in place, and especially kind of towards the end of last year, I was talking to a beautiful psychic last night, went out for dinner with her. And again, we were talking about how kind of September, October, November, lots of streamlining, right? Lots of the universe going, no, that's not for you anymore. Pulling people, relationships, things out of your field. Because if you've got an important mission to do, you have to galvanize, meaning bring together and focus your energy in a particular direction. And that is the direction of your vision and your mission. As light workers, we have work to do, folks. It doesn't take too much to look out there and go how much the world is going WTF. You are here to be in service to those people, to help them activate a greater level of consciousness. That is important work. The only way we are going to change the planet is to change from the inside out. The only way that we are really going to create collective harmony is to be experiencing peace inside of ourselves. That's our responsibility. Big part of this process, folks, stop looking at your externals. As an intuitive and energetic alignment coach, I focus here. How am I feeling? Am I talking to the universe? Because that's the only conversation I want to be having. What's next, universe? Where do I go? Who do I serve? What's the frequency that I need to be in? That's the conversations that I'm having with myself as a business owner. It's not, oh my goodness, should I use AI in my business? Now, if you're into that, go for it. But feel the frequency of it. It's kind of muddled, right? Because people have projected fear onto it. But again, if it's not the highest vibration, you want to check yourself and go, is that something that I want to add to the ecosystem of my business? I mean, I didn't even realize somebody put a post up the other day that every time that you use ChatGPT, you're like ruining our water supply because it churns through so much energy just to be able to provide those answers. Authenticity is going to win, folks, always, because it's a higher frequency. ChatGPT doesn't really have a frequency. It's not a living thing, right? It is just computer generated. So starting to ask yourself these questions, right? Like, what's the frequency of my business? So in that, hi Mary, how are you? Hi Ali, how are you? Where are you at in your business, folks? Where are you at? Are you just starting? Have you been in business for a while? Are you at that point where you want to scale? Right? What's happening in your business? And how do you feel about it? Most important thing. Because you know how, like, when you feel good, it's so easy to go take the action. It's so easy to do the thing. One of the things that I help people with the most is knowing how to master their inner world, right? How to talk to themselves so they get the outcomes that they want. How to navigate their own resistance so they're not holding themselves back. Super important. Scaling, how exciting! And are you doing it in a way that's easy, Carissa? One of the first things if you're scaling, folks, is how do I create this in a way that just feels like magic to me? That it's easy, right? That it's easy to do this, that I can just add somebody to another program and it's not necessarily going to pull on my focus, my energy, my attention, because the system is all set up to be able to support that person and give them exactly what they need. Right? Great questions to ask. Yeah, it feels fun and joyful with a few human moments. Absolutely. That's exactly the place where you want to be. You want to be in that place where it's like, everything is always working out for me. This is perfect. This is amazing. How does it get better than this? What could be something else that I could add to this that's going to light me up like a Christmas tree? And this is a very far removed concept, folks, which from a lot of people, if you're looking at getting into business, this is what I would do if I was doing it all over again. I would immediately go and find somebody and help me to shift any assumptions that I had about what work is. You know how many times they say the word work and people just go, oh, right? Work gets to be joyous. If you have done a job out of obligation or guilt, even, or thinking that you have to because you have to pay bills, you do not want to take that energy with you into your entrepreneur career. Right? That's not the vibe. One thing I noticed that I did when I first left banking and moved into coaching was I would work really hard, right? And my guides would say to me, go and play, go for a walk, go outside. And I'd be like, no, I've got work to do. Like I was literally arguing my own guidance, right? At times, because I was so embedded in, I came from an environment where there was always a deadline, right? So that's how my kind of psyche was wired. I have to do this, there's a deadline. But then I had to unravel from that because I worked in banking and we would do a lot of conveyancing, so people buying and selling houses, and Friday was always settlement day, right? People wanted their money crossed over to the solicitor so they could pick up their keys and move into the house over the weekend. But for me, I was like, I have to let go of that familiar pattern because it's not happening anymore. And this is why getting your subconscious on board is so important. So, what questions do you have, folks? What questions do you have? What would you like the answer to in your business right now? And while you're thinking about that, I'm just going to speak to another really important piece in your business: certainty. Not just certainty, authority, right? Do you see yourself as the authority? Okay. This is really funny to me. Like, intuitively, I just saw it's like sitting on a perch and all these feathers getting a little ruffled. Do you see yourself as the authority? Right? What happens in your body when I say that? Because often what happens, right, is we're always looking to somebody else as the authority. You're the authority. Your intuition, right, is your authority. The whole company of heaven is saying, you're the authority. You're the creator. You have all the authority. Even the word, what does it mean to you? Sometimes people are like, oh, that means like I've got power over somebody else. To me, it means you are the author of your own life. You choose, you decide, and this is such an important premise when it comes to universal law. Universal law responds to what you choose. Eesh. This is how much power you have. If you sit in fear and lack and doubt and uncertainty, the universe has no choice but to respond to the vibration you are emitting. Because it goes, oh, that's what you're choosing? Yeah, have some more. Right? This is how much power you have. So when you tap in and you go, I'm choosing abundance. Now, what happens for people is they hold the vibe for a certain period of time. I'm choosing abundance, I'm all excited about it, and time goes on and their vibe goes like that. No, you want to be the person who can maintain a high vibration no matter what, which means not looking at your circumstances, which means when you get off a sales call and somebody said no to you, that you still maintain your enthusiasm for your next ideal client. That you're not attributing, you're not letting your ego label stuff and go, this is right and this is wrong. Because that makes it conditional, and when there's conditional energy there, it sucks. It's not the vibe. And a lot of people are like, well, you're kind of being delusional. No, you're just being willing to understand that we live in an energetic universe, and to take your attachment off your external and bring it back to yourself and keep yourself in those frequencies. And that's where things can magically show up. You'll activate your ability as an attractor and a manifester, like to be the vibration that's like, yes, of course. There's no resistance in your field. And of course, this can be applied to anything. You want a new partner? Call it in. What are they like? What does it feel like? Can you hold the vibration of that? Big thing about calling in a partner, or even your ideal clients. Are you that person? right? You want somebody who's loyal and funny and charming. Are you loyal, funny, and charming? You don't attract what you want, because want actually means lack. You attract who you are. You attract your vibe. So who are you being? See how much power you have in this scenario. When you understand that, you get to look inside of yourself. And again, I know a lot of people are afraid of doing that because they're like, but seriously, there's nothing inside of you, folks, that is unlovable. There's nothing inside of you that is scary. Guess what? God's already loving it. God's already in acceptance of it. And the universe is always inviting you to be in acceptance of yourself too, the light and the dark, right? The things that we've labeled as good or bad. One of the first things about energetics, right, is understanding there's no such thing as a wrong emotion. This can be life-changing for people in the first instance. Your rage, your jealousy, your anger, your fear, your hurt, your pain, it's all lovable. It's just looking for love. There's nothing wrong with it. Right? And this is the God's own frequency. There's nothing wrong. There's just love and more love and choosing love. And I know when we're choosing to expand in our business, it can feel scary. But guess what that is? It's an assumption that you've made. It's something that you've given energy to. It's a belief from the past. You can take care of it. This is the dance. Tap into the frequency. Guess what the frequency shows you? If you maintain the frequency long enough, it's going to show you everything that needs to go. It's going to show you everything that's not a match to that frequency. Your subconscious is going to go, that's not who we are, because we have this belief system. Often people have to work through this when it's like, I'm not good enough. And you start tapping into, I love myself and I am worthy. And the subconscious goes, but you've been telling yourself for decades that you're a piece of shit, right? And this is not a match. So that's where that healing process can take place. And you want to go to the highest frequencies because you want all the kind of shitty sludge to come up so you can get rid of it, folks. So you can go into an even higher vibration. This is one of the most amazing, crazy things about working with energetics. How high can you go? How high can your body actually sustain it? Which really translates to how good can it get when you're being the creator. Woo! It's high octane stuff. Hey Joe, how are you? Lovely. I'm blocked on finding high vibe JV partners. It's like dating and I feel like I'm kissing a lot of frogs. Okay, cool. So this is how I would approach it, Carissa. This is a great question too, by the way. To what I would ask myself, to what level do I positively expect to find great people? I'd ask myself scale of 1 to 10. Kind of feels like it's about a 6. And then I would go, why do I think that way? You know, and also too, the word that's coming in is chosen. To what level do you feel chosen? And guess what, beauty? You choose yourself. Yes, right? You choose yourself. I'm all that in a bag of chips. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help people's lives transform. Can you see, right? We're coming back to the certainty immediately. Get back into the certainty. I've got the certainty, then I can go out and be like, this is what I'm looking for. But I identify it. I'm looking for people who are lit up, on fire, certain, love their work, you know, have a good moral code, whatever it is that you have for your ideal that you want to step in with you, and then buzz at that vibration. I'm so excited about meeting them. I'm so excited about having those conversations. But you choose. This is the thing, folks. Like often I see it where people are putting their foot into the new paradigm, but they've still got their foot in the old paradigm, which is the past. You have to take your foot out of the past and bring it into the new and go, no, this is the new way of being. This is how I'm doing it. This is how I'm showing up. I'm not that old identity. And this is actually foundational too, folks, because when you're in that energy of reverting back to the past, it can be quite confusing, right? Like you're sending mixed messages to the universe. Like, I want to be this, but I'm still in this lower default frequency. Like I wanna, but, right? The universe is like, what are we doing, right? What are we doing? I'm looking at you, waiting for you to make a decision about what's it gonna be. That's why tapping back into the certainty is so sexy. Hi, Anushka. How are you, beauty? Long time no see, lovely. How's everything going for you in your world? So, did that help in regards to answering your question, Carissa? Because what I can see for people that happens as well, this is what the brain does. I don't feel the way that I want to feel. And because you're intuitive and you're really aware and often psychic, you go, okay, well, let's go and find the problem, right? Which is valid. But then, if we're spending a lot of time focusing on the problem, right, and thinking, oh my God, I've got to find the problem and fix the problem and heal the problem, how much time is that taking in terms of our focus? What are we making it mean? I've found the thing, I haven't found the thing. Do I need to find another thing to fix? Is there something else? Am I fully healed? Please, for the love of God, tell yourself right now that you are healed. Right? Identify with being a healed person. Even if you have woundedness inside you, like healing is a continuous process, but it's not linear. But see yourself as healed now. You can adopt that identity because in truth you are healed, but you're just doing this other process of assimilation constantly. Don't label yourself as broken, wounded, or unhealed. Even if you feel that way, see it as a continuous evolution. We have to do the spiritual and emotional balancing work, folks. It's a given. But don't let your brain look for problems, because your higher self doesn't have a problem. And if it is a problem or something that you need to work through, your intuition's going to show you. It's going to present itself. How are you going to know? The curriculum's always right in front of you, folks. Always. Have you noticed that? Like, what the universe is dialed into you so intimately. Right? The universe is reading your energy, your frequency, your thoughts. There is no separation between you and the universe. It's got you. But for you as the person who is going, your power is in how am I choosing to respond to what the stimuli in my environment is? Who am I being in relationship to it? Do I know myself as powerful? And again, I know a lot of people hear that word and they immediately go into the ego. They go into power, aggression, domination. That is not what I'm talking about, because that's not true power, because it's coming from a low frequency. I'm talking about the power of God, who you are. Stop seeing yourself as a human being and see yourself more as an energetic being, right? Loosen the grip on the fact that I have this body. See it as an oscillating field of energy. Everything in your environment is energy. You are multidimensional. When you really start dropping into this, like, you can shift things in your reality so quickly because you're focusing on what is true, that everything is energy. And the universe is working with you step by step, moment to moment. Okay, things like thought process and attitudes of I'm being punished. That's incorrect. That is your ego having a bit of a pity party. It can feel like that, but that's why we always want to ask the universe, like when something like this shit hits the fan, and you're like, what the hell? Take a moment, breathe, and then ask the universe, would you please help me to understand what it is that I'm supposed to be learning here? Because if you notice that, folks, like the gifts of spirit are not necessarily everything being easy all the time. The gifts of spirit are often strength or courage or tenacity or grit or knowing that you are the solution to every perceived problem. That usually comes after challenge, test, trial, confrontation, issue. It doesn't come from everything just being like, oof. If you have been through a lot of shit in your life, that is just paving the way for you to step into massive greatness. Please understand too, because I think sometimes people can feel like life feels a little bit meaningless. When you are dialed into your soul purpose, you will know that your life has so much meaning. You came here on purpose, folks. Great question. If you're feeling any way lost in your direction, ask the universe now, dear universe, I am open and willing to see my soul purpose. Big part of my soul purpose, to educate people to step into their light leadership and to help them to become profitable. Why? Because that is my contribution to the planet in terms of raising the consciousness. So everybody gets to live in a greater frequency, level of awareness, consciousness, more loving, more unity. That's a big part of my purpose. I am hugely passionate about people knowing their power. Why? Because for the longest time I felt powerless. Not a fun place to be. Not a fun place to realize that, believing that the game of life is rigged against you. That's an incorrect perception. And you know what it's like when you feel like that train has run you over a million times and you're like, you end up going to the universe and going, what the hell? Like, you've got to tell me like what this is all about, because this is really not working for me. But this is the beautiful thing, folks. Your feelings are the guide. If you feel good, you're aligned. You're thinking in alignment with the way that God does. Isn't that amazing to know that your emotions are intuitive guidance? If you feel off, something is off. It's the universe saying, hey, you're having a belief, a thought, an assumption, a perspective that is not in alignment with truth. And it's your responsibility to respond to that. And I was always one of those kids as well who would like deviate as far away as I possibly could just to see what happened. Especially as a teenager, I was like, how far can I go into the darkness, right? I wouldn't advise it now, but at the time I was just like, woo, how far off the track can we get, right? Anybody here ever felt depressed? That's you going way out of alignment. And it hurts because you're going further away from God. And it's like God's way of calling you back to say, whoa, the level and intensity of the pain that you're feeling is in direct proportion to how far away you are from me right now. Come back. And have you ever noticed that? Often people in their darkest moments and their deepest despair, that's when they'll call out to God. That's when they're like, I don't get it, please help me, God. And then, because God has been called upon, God can help you. The universe can help you. Life can help you. So, I'm all on fire today. So I said I have to write. Oh, good, Carissa. Great to have you here, lovely. So, folks, what are your questions? I know I'm like, blah, 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 blah. But what are your questions? What do you want help with next? Because yes, there can be strategy. Yes, there can be logistics. Yes, there can be like a simple shift. Yes, there can be a tweak. But 8, 9 times out of 10, it always comes back to the energetics. Hi, Yana. How are you, lovely? What are your questions for today? I can see all your comments, so I'm ready and available. And you know what? Sometimes too, you can feel self-conscious about asking a question, right? You can be like, well, you know all this stuff. I don't know this stuff. So depending on where I was in my business, what kind of questions would I ask? What do I need to do or be in order to have more clients come in? Maybe even asking about my own experience, like what are the times where you've managed expansion? And I can definitely riff on lots of different stories about, and again, even money in your business, right? A lot of times it's amazing to me. I've seen it before working with people, and it's like money and sales, and they're like this magnet. Like, like we're trying to get them to move towards making more sales, and the money just, like they're doing this. It's like watching magnets repel each other. Do you see yourself as an amazing salesperson? Are you like, yes, queen, I'm good at making money? When I say that, what happens in your body? Do you go, or is it just like, ah, like what happens? Hey, Wendy, how are you, lovely? What happens? Because one thing I realized, if you're not making money, you're not in business, folks, right? If your business isn't profitable, that's not a fun place to be. And that is definitely energetics, right? If you feel like you're giving too much and not receiving as much as you like, that's energetics. right? This is the thing. Most of business problems are actually energy or personal problems. This is why I saw somebody the other day that said business coaching is not therapy. And in the rigid sense of delivering an offer, business coaching isn't therapy. But I tell you what, it is impossible to separate the person out from the business. And you have to take the person as the totality because they're the one who's unplugged into the business, right? So, no, it's not therapy, but you have to be helping that person energetically, or else, just in that strict, rigid, rational mind, that's going to get you so far. And I've worked with people before who have used their rational mind a lot to create, and then they get to a point where they're just like, I'm so sick of this. Like it feels like a grind, it feels heavy. You know why? Because it's their soul going, there's a whole other way of doing this, right? Which is easier. When you see people making big money and they're still swanning around on holiday and you're like, how are they doing that? That is because they have got the energetics dialed in. Right? That is not, it has to be, because the belief system has to be there to hold that in place for it to be possible. And beliefs have energy, folks. Your beliefs can be blocking you. One of my, this is so funny as a person who's actually teaching it and supporting people with it about creation or manifestation, same. I didn't believe it. For a long time, right? Like I didn't believe in it. I had all this disbelief. My ego would block me. It would be like, oh no, that's just for other people, which is like saying gravity's just for other people. It's ridiculous, right? Of course it applies to everybody. Universal law applies to everybody, but my ego blocked me. My ego blocked me from the expansion. My ego blocked me from doing the very things that would actually open everything up. And the thing is, folks, that your ego is fear-based and it's scared, right? It's like, is that safe? Is it safe to make more money? Are people still going to love me if I make more money? What happens if I have more money? Does that mean more responsibility? Is that going to be hard? Is that going to be easy? This is what the ego is doing subconsciously all the time. You're not even consciously thinking of like that, but your ego is, and your ego is hardwired into your central nervous system. So you need to know how to kind of hack it and your subconscious. Because when you start shifting into the expert or, the one that gets chosen by everybody in your field, that's an identity shift. And you need to be comfortable with that. Body needs to be comfortable, subconscious needs to be on board. Right? And it's super fun because when you're in the energy of certainty around it, it's just, of course. There is no like, this is wrong or bad. Of course they feel safe. Of course it's safe to make big money. Of course there's no shame in money. Of course there's no kind of negative beliefs in my energy field for me to be able to create and make big money. Right? We need to do the inner vacuum cleaning sometimes. Hey, Wendy. What about if you want a bit of everything? Business, work, grandies, downtime. Yes. So again, this comes back to creation. And I love this too, Wendy, because it's not just necessarily about money, it's about time. Who creates time? You do. You're the creator of your time. Have you ever noticed this, folks? If you're stressed, time disappears. That's how wild it is, right? If you're relaxed, it's like you have all the time in the world. So, Wendy, for you, I feel like this is a attribution of meaning in relationship to how you're spending your time. What feels like it needs to tap into place is when I do work on my business, do I know what I'm doing is powerful and valuable? And it's enough, right? That I'm doing the things that are actually creating more abundance and making sure I go do those things. Because, let me give you an example. I've worked with a lot of people before. I've said, I need to get my website up and running. Websites can be quite an investment and they can take quite a lot of time. It is not necessary in terms of making more money. Getting your energetics in the right place so you're creating more money so it's easy to pay somebody, absolutely. but it's about time allocation. When you do work on your business, do you feel like it has a good, firm boundary around it? Like I'm showing up, I'm completely present, I'm focusing on the things, the money generation items, I'm inviting people in to work with me, I'm demonstrating the value of working with me. These are the kind of things that need to be tightened up. You don't want to be spending that time creating an image on Canva because that's not going to be and again, sales is service, folks. You know, you need to shift your approach around selling. Selling is good. Selling is the holy grail. Selling means you're making an impact. Selling means that you're being in service to other people. If there's any kind of contraction, which light workers often do, because there's often this subconscious, like you should be doing this for free attitude, even though like this is the most transformative work ever and it's so valuable, we can often have these belief systems, right? Like I should be doing this for free. So do you feel, Wendy, that the time that you do spend on your business, it is powerful, right? It's compact, it's valuable, you're doing the things that are shifting the needle? That's where I would start looking. Hi, Hope. How are you? Lovely. Hey, Brian. How are you? Yes, right. Because if you spent 2 hours or I don't know, an hour even on your business each day, Wendy, but you walked away from it going, man, that was powerful. Man, that feels so good. Man, I know that's shifting the needle in my business. You would be more available for everything else. But this is the thing, right? We're the one who has to create the boundary within ourselves to make sure we're doing the things that actually shift the needle. Because we don't want to spend our time on low impact. And again, you get to create your business any way you want, folks. You don't want to spend it though. If you've got limited time, you want to spend it doing high impact things in that period of time that you have available. And getting really clear on what those things are. And this is why I love simplicity, because simplicity is often closely aligned to the truth. So keep it simple. What are the things that you would need to be doing to make sure that people can know you, like you, and trust you? You know, how could you structure it that way? And again, this is why for people like you, I would definitely be recommending scheduling your posts, right? Take an hour, whole week, what am I going to say? Schedule it all. Know that it's valuable, it's powerful, it's going to help people to see the value of your work. Make sure that you're making offers consistently. Hey, I'm doing this. Would you like in? Here's the link, right? Amazes me how many times people, like one of the first things I can do with a person if I'm doing some business coaching with them, it's like, okay, so let's have a look over the last week. How many offers have you made? If you've made 3 offers in the last week, what would it take to make 6? What would it take to make 20? People go, oh, I can't do that. I'd be annoying people. What are you talking about? You're giving them an invitation to change your ideal client's life. If it's not for the person who's, you know, like if it's not for your ideal client, it's not for them. So you're not talking to that person, right? You're talking to your ideal clients. Stop talking to everyone. Talk to your ideal person. Offer it to them. Offer it to them. Offer it to them. Guess what? They get busy. They're on a lunch break. They see your offer. They're like, crumbs, I've got to go. Then they see your offer again, right? And they're like, then they can jump in because like I saw that before and now I've got the opportunity to step in. One of the biggest things too that you want to be doing, folks, is be very aware of the assumptions that you're making about your audience. If it doesn't feel alive, if it doesn't feel activated, that comes back to you. You need to get yourself alive. You need to get yourself activated. You need to get excited. You can't look to your externals and expect your externals to give you anything, folks. I have dialed this in and dialed this in and dialed this in and dialed this in because I'm like, it's between me and the universe, not my externals. And I know that sounds weird, right? Because of course you want to look to your externals, but this is where it gets lined up and then it goes out there. Right? But I'm not looking at my externals to go, oh, I'm a good person or I'm a bad person. Am I making money or I'm not making money, right? Like I'm doing it right, I'm doing it wrong. No. I'm like, how do I feel? Do I feel good? I'm in the right place. That's it. and I'm making offers and I'm offering things. I'm taking action. Of course, I'm prepared to take action. Action is where people get so tripped up. One of the things about action is often for women, especially if you're not taking action, there could very well be a man in your life who is not forgiven. So you have wounded energy in your own masculine, or you are not identifying as the person who takes action. And there can be a lot of energy around this because of how we have felt in the past about work. Right? If you have taken action and you don't feel like it's acknowledged, that could be something that needs to be shifted. If you have taken action and your boss has never acknowledged or appreciated what you've done, that could be contributing to it. If you've taken action before and you feel like it yields no results, right? These are all things that you're going to need to manage energetically to get your free. Can you feel how even me talking about that, the energy's dropped? All right, this has gotten a little harder. As soon as we start talking about action, this always happens because people are often beating themselves up, going, I need to take more action to get the outcome. Like I'm doing it wrong. I should be doing something different than what I'm doing. In the first instance, you want to go to vibration. Vibration first, then take the action step, because you'll be taking the action step from a different vibration. Right, rather than being the person who's in that space of, oh, I have to do this. That is not the vibe, folks. You get to do it. You don't have to do anything. Have to go straight into kind of victim energy because it's like, I'm powerless. I have to do this. And people tell themselves that bullshit all day long too, right? Like, I have to take the children here. No, you don't. You don't have to do anything. What you'd prefer to do is to take your power back and realize that you're choosing all of it. Where you live, where you sleep, what you sleep on, who you sleep with, how you educate your children, whether you're going to send them to this school or that school, where you go on holiday, what car you drive, you're choosing it all. Do not forget that. You are not powerless. Yeah, it's going to get my bum into gear today about posts. Yes, and also, what does your ideal client need to hear? What does your ideal client need to hear? What are they thinking right now? What are they thinking about at the traffic lights? It's really easy as a coach to be so focused on your offers and what you do, rather than take some time to go, how does my ideal client think? More importantly, how are they feeling? What do they know to be true? What do they believe which is not true? Where are they not accessing their power? That's kind of the question I would ask myself, because those are the people I help. I help a lot of people go from life is good to life is extraordinary, because I work with energy, frequency, and vibration. And I help people who are already activated in their power proposition, but take it to a whole other level, an energetic level. Because that's true power, right? Because that's the God zone, right? Where nothing's wrong, like I can handle it. I'm the solution to all the problems. Whatever life brings, I know I'll handle it. That's power. So, what's your ideal client thinking right now? What do they need help with? Can you articulate that clearly? Once you've got the energetics on board, folks, and then you can translate the value of what you're offering, fire, right? You will burn yourself into a whole different dimension. People will be stepping into work with you and you'll be like, I don't even know where these people are coming from. I don't even know where the money's coming from, right? Because you're in this vibration and you're translating the value and the power of what you do, right? You will blaze a whole new trail. And it's totally available for you, but it's not going to come from, ooh, I don't know, I don't get it, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand electricity either, but I use it every day and I'm grateful for it, which is kind of how I feel about energetics. Like, I use energetics every day and I'm grateful for it, but I still have no idea how it works. I mean, I've watched the thing on, what is it, Down the Rabbit Hole, whatever it is, that movie, The Wave and the Particle, so many times, folks, and I still could not explain it to you. All I know is that when you observe, is it the electrons or the protons or the atoms or whatever gets fired in a particular direction, when you observe them, the way they behave changes. Which, if you take that in from the quantum into our day-to-day reality, what you focus on is determining your reality. Which means, and this is why you want to be like, what's the vibe? You know that song by REM, like what's the frequency, Kenneth? That song always stays in my head about energetics. It's like, what's the vibe? What's the highest vibrational energy I can tune into? And then you know what the most amazing thing is? I can say that and you can feel it. Because you know, it's already inside of you. It's like, right? It is a high vibrational frequency that is available to you at any given moment. Are you dialed into it? Are you operating from that place? Are you tuning into it? Are you the person who's activating that? This is definitely the way forward, folks. Like, more and more people are understanding how important it is to align with the energy, the frequency, and the vibration. And I think in my career, I was actually thinking about this the other day, I would have probably said the word energy millions and millions of times. Right? What's the energy? What's the vibration? How much energy are you emanating? Like, what is the thing about frequency? It's your ability to hold light and emanate light. The higher your vibration, the more light you will be emanating. What is the purpose of spiritual ascension? It is to become more crystalline in nature, which is literally your cells changing. If you were thinking of it in terms of a song, it would be like going and going and going to a higher octave, like la 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 la, right? Like to be the highest version of ourselves. And goodness knows the planet needs it. Big part of the identity piece. I'm a light leader. I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve humanity. The universe has got a plan for me. Right? Hey again, Carissa. How are you? So, any other questions, folks? Has this been helpful? Has this been valuable? Can you feel the frequency of what I'm talking about? What would your business be like if you operated from this space permanently? Two ways. Like, if you're a person who is pretty self-motivated but you want some more energetic support, one of my favorite offers is Wealth Codes. It's $97 a month. There's about 5 months in there. Energetics, strategy, mostly energetics. Because if you are a person who's like, oh, I just need an answer to this thing, that you can go through all the chats and kind of look and listen and receive the energetic frequency, right? Which can take you back to a place where you're like, yep, I've got this. I'll put the links for that below. It's $97 a month. What I'm going to do, I usually offer the free masterclass with it every month. What I'm going to do is offer a 90-minute coaching session just to the people who are in that container. And again, that's one of my, it's so powerful in that place, folks, but it's one of the low-end offers that I have. Again, depending on your budget. I'm going to do another mastermind soon, which is all about this, because there's so many components, right? Authority, identity, self-perception. Who do I see myself as? Your offers, getting your offers energetically aligned. So it's just, right? They just scoot off the shelves, right? How you feel about yourself, your business, your life, your world, right? Getting the balance right in all of this, right? Which really means that you know how to navigate your own emotions like a professional. And when you understand about your emotions being guidance, game changer. When you understand how to navigate your ego, I have a thing called the ego map, game changer. When you are choosing joy and are giving yourself permission to create your business from joy, game changer. So that will be coming out soon. My mastermind at the moment is intuitive creation. I don't know if it will be a relaunch of that. I'm going to sit down and tune into my own intuition and ask some more questions. But has anybody else got any other questions? Very helpful. You're welcome, Yana. Yay, you're welcome. Yes, frequency, folks. What's the vibe? What's the frequency, Kenneth? Yeah, love that song. It takes me back. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad that it's been valuable. Check your frequency. Look at the things like, how much certainty do I have? What does it feel like in your body if you had certainty that everything that you desire is going to be manifested? You see how that instantly closes the gap? That's where you want to live from. What do I mean by the gap? Where you are, where you want to be. You want to learn how to close the gap. That's what I teach people to do, like energetically. So fun, so exciting. And if you're here listening to this, like you're ready for it, right? You're ready to be the person who knows how to live in a closed gap, which is the God zone. No problem, nothing wrong. I'm the solution. I'm the creator. Let's go. Let's play. There's no issues. I don't need to find all the problems. My intuition will show me. If I'm stuck, right, it will show me through my emotions. I get to take care of it. I get to align with the frequency. I get to attract what it is that I want. Thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love. Mwah! We'll talk to you soon, folks. Lots of love. Bye.